Caught in the middle of a national crime ring, tonight we're hearing from a former 7-Eleven employee who suspected his boss was up to no good. Then he saw this video of Zahid Baig on the news, one of 9 people indicted on charges of harboring illegal immigrants, wire fraud, and identity theft. Investigators say the 7-Eleven franchise owners smuggled illegal immigrants into the U.S., used stolen Social Security numbers to put them on the payroll, and then stole their earnings. Only 10 on your side's Ann McNamara spoke to that former employee of the accused. Ann?
This is an Old Dominion University student. He asked us not to use his name. He worked as a sales associate at the 7-Eleven on West 26th Street and Hampton Boulevard in Norfolk from July to September of 2012. Today he told me about his personal relationship with Zahid Baig, now indicted on federal immigration charges.
I saw my boss's face coming out in handcuffs, and I was like, oh my goodness, that was my former boss.
This Old Dominion University student knew Zahid Baig simply as Mr. Z. He says he worked for him at the 7-Eleven on West 26th Street, and Mr. Z trusted him.
He was talking about how he had a house in New York and a boat, and he invited me to go deep sea fishing with him. I always kind of thought that was weird because I was like, you know, you're my boss, you know, and we're not really that close.
But it wasn't the odd invitation that made this former employee suspicious. It was his paycheck. He claims he was rarely compensated for overtime hours, and he worked a lot of them.
Employees went back to Pakistan for about 3 months. We didn't have enough people on staff, so we pretty much had to work double shifts.
The former employee says he logged onto the payroll system and found the 4 employees who went to Pakistan were still being paid. He says there were 2 men and 2 women, all in their late teens and early 20s.
They were actually still like depositing money into that account.
Even though they didn't work there.
Even though they hadn't been there for a while.
He also claims to have seen 3 other names, people he had never heard of, also being paid by 7-Eleven. When he asked Baig about his own paycheck, he says Baig promised to add the money onto the next one, but never did. He says Baig liked him so much he wanted him to run a store, but in the end, the student quit because of a gut feeling something wasn't right.
He would tell me he would help me start my own business or let me run this one, and I'm not interested in that because, like I said, I'm a college student.
And this ODU student says some of the employees from Pakistan seemed intimidated by Baig's wife, who owns the store. He also remembers they were not excited on payday like the other workers. Now that he's heard the accusations that Baig stole millions from illegal immigrants over more than a decade, he worries those 4 people may have been victims. I'm Ann McNamara, 10 on your side.